All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another DC Worlds Collide video. This is Mr. Squirrel, as always. Glad to have you here. So, if you search up the App Store right now for DC Worlds Collide, what I find interesting is that currently, Supergirl is the one that's going to be dropping in the next couple of days. But Black Lightning is the one being advertised right now. And I'm trying to figure out, that's very interesting because, again, Supergirl is kind of like the flagship character of, this anniversary. Now, what's interesting is actually Black Lightning is actually dropping a little bit close to the anniversary, which is technically July 7th, than Supergirl is. They should be doing something special for the anniversary of the game because it is July 7th, or it's getting close to that date. But Black Lightning is the one that's being advertised. So let's read what did they say. Teacher, father, hero, Jefferson Pierce, strikes back against crime to light a path for the next generation. Now, there's something really interesting about the way he's worded. So we just got a support, and we know that they've mentioned he's going to be a support, and he is going to be a shock-based character. But teacher, father, hero, Jefferson Pierce strikes back. So maybe I'm reading too much into this, but this sounds almost like he's a counterattack. Strikes back, right? He doesn't sound like a support based on this description. Well, he does and doesn't. And then strikes back against crime to light a path for the next generation. That sounds interesting. As like he's going forward and people he's bringing people like following behind him, right? Or like setting like in motion for his team potentially to help. Now, could I be reading too much into this? Maybe. But I just think it's really interesting the way he's worded. What if he is actually a frontline support character? We've never seen, well, we have with Mr. T, because Mr. T has a really funny little ability where, if he gets targeted, it's redirected to a different character with the max HP. It would be really interesting if we get another frontline support character, because we got a backline one in Ruthie, which we're getting 2 supports, and he is the first legendary to ever drop post global, because it was the only supports we have that are legendary are Supergirl, old school Supergirl, and what's his name, the Cyborg. We don't have any other legendary supports. They're the only 2. We don't have any other legendary supports. And I think tanks have really kind of, their identity is kind of all over the place. Like you get tanks that are, dealing damage. You get tanks that are, can be in the back and the front, right? Most of the time they're in the front, but we haven't really seen a support character that can really go in the front, which, I mean, Cyborg can, if you build him super duper tanky, he can go in the front. Supergirl cannot. Supergirl does not have any way to deal with that. She's like, yeah, she needs a buff. But I would be really interested to see him become kind of the like a frontline support character that is, the shock team staple. Because if you look at the shock team, they don't really have, I mean, Black Adam's backline, we don't know what we'll see what happens, but me personally, the more like seeing how these things are interacting, he could work potentially as a back row support, but I'd be really interested if he becomes like a front row super duper like tanky or evasive support that does kind of really interesting things, kind of like Mr. T, right? I would be very curious to see this. But the thing that really stands out to me too is, why are they advertising him? Right? Why are they advertising this guy when Supergirl drops in the time of this video, a day and a half from the time of this recording? It's like almost 40 hours. That's less than, it's like 36 hours from the time of this video, not recording, the time of the video being published. It's like 36 hours. Supergirl comes out. Why are we advertising Black Lightning? Now, interestingly, the last season, something like that did happen with Black Adam. Black Adam. They're advertising the intermediate character. Why aren't they advertising? Because the movie drops. I feels like you'd want to have Supergirl plastered all over the place. And this makes me just a little like, what are they doing? Because again, the movie, what's interesting is there's a lot of tension surrounding Supergirl. I think it's absolutely the stupidest thing I've ever heard of in my entire life. Sorry. Movie looks good. And I mean, I'm a little concerned. It's similar to Guardians, but like it still looks like a good movie. And I'm not even gonna get into the hate for the act. Like, I'm just like, what is happening? Um, but at the same time, Lobo, and then we have Lobo. We have Jason Momoa as Lobo, which absolutely looks peak. And I'm gonna go see the movie. I'm gonna go see it the when it comes out. Well, that Friday I'm working, but it'll probably be the following week. But like, you have this crazy hype thing dropping, and you're not advertising for the character that's there. But then in game, she's the home screen. I'm just a little confused why we're talking about Black Lightning, who isn't coming out until July 4th, and we're advertising him, who is away, and it's all saying now available. He's not now available. I think this is just the team kind of got mixed up. But team, let's like, you've got a crazy hype character. People are looking up DC stuff right now. Why are we advertising Black Lightning? Huh? Why? Why are we advertising Black Lightning when the Supergirl stocks are up right now? Advertise Supergirl. Which, again, I want to kind of highlight one other thing. Same thing on the Google Play Store. I'm just trying to figure out what their gameplay plan here is, because you're advertising Black Lightning and he's not going to come out for another week. And then you have Supergirl right here. Hello? I'm trying to figure that one out, guys. What are we doing? Huh? This feels very weird. Why are we advertising a character that is not, and I repeat, here yet? And when there is a crazy hype character about to drop. Little flabbergasted at the decision behind this one to do this, when, again, I know kind of Black Adam was way more hype. Nothing against Black Lightning, but it's like Supergirl with the movie coming out, and you're advertising a less known character. Granted, he did have the CW, but that was like an okay TV show. And that stopped years ago. I'm just legitimately like, listen, I'm all for advertising Black Lightning, but shouldn't we be advertising Supergirl and then Black Lightning? Like, right? Okay, let's do this. Let's go to DC Dark Legion. And so I don't see them ever, like, but like, it's kind of interesting too. The Dark Legion's got a way lower rating than DC Worlds Collide right now. I think that's also just because of what's kind of going on. But like, it just really feels like we should be advertising for Supergirl and then advertise for Black Lightning. Because he, I will say this though, he looks cool. His art looks dope. But why aren't we advertising for the character that's going to bring you money? Which, that's not to say the Black Lightning won't bring you money. It'll bring you tons of money. But advertise accordingly. Supergirl movie. Advertise for Supergirl. Look, guys, this is what's happening. Oh, and then wait a couple days, like 4 or 5 days, until that's kind of hype's dying down a little bit. And then advertise Black Lightning right before he comes out. I'm just trying to figure out the decision-making process here to not make money and adequately advertise the game as such, especially when Supergirl is right here. And there's not a lot of coverage on this game. And I know people are going to be like, bad game. I don't think the game is bad. I think they need some more content. And I think if they put a little bit more money into just like, let me advertise this as like, hey, Supergirl dropped. You want to play as Supergirl? Here you go. DC Worlds Collide. It's kind of like that. When did we see a huge influx of players in this game? Well, when DCU Superman dropped. When Peacemaker, if you go look at Peacemaker video on YouTube, when they dropped the Peacemaker introduction video, it had like 55,000 views. And then the Poison season dropped exponentially. But like, I'm just not understanding this decision. It makes me a little frustrated right now, because it just feels like we're actively like de-incentivized. People are going to type in like Supergirl, and then you could have your game pop up. I don't know. I just, you know what I mean? Like, oh, hey, look, let's go. Like, oh, snap, Supergirl's. And he's not even out yet. That's the other thing. It's like justice is electric. The streets are his court. Cool. He's not here. Like, he's not in game yet. What are we doing? Oh, Jesus. What are we doing? All right. I don't know. I think I've had enough of this. I'm going to give myself a heart attack. All right. This feels baffling. Rambling on about this. All right, whatever. Here you guys go. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Devs, come on. Let's advertise. Just put the Supergirl banner up, and then like maybe Sunday, put up, or Monday next week, put up Black Lightning. Right? Hype character. Just put up the right one? Okay. Yeah. All right, folks. Hope this video helps. As always, remember failing is your first attempt at learning.